Well, hi everybody again. And today the topic is arguing, why we should argue for good reasons, and what the purpose of that is. And before I get into that, it was just International Women's Day. So congratulations to all my fellow women out there. Keep going with what you're doing. Hold up your head and give it your best. You're doing great. So, arguing. I'm not a confrontational person. I do not like to argue. I do not like to have shouting matches and all that kind of thing. However, sometimes in life, there comes times when you have to say things that aren't very nice in order to end a conflict or come to peace about something or come to an agreement. And there are various ways you can argue, and you can argue just to, be hot-headed and win. Be like, I told you. Or you can argue or disagree with somebody because you're actually concerned about something, that something's not right, something's not safe, something isn't going the way it should be, and the point of you disagreeing with them is not to be the winner and hold it over their head, but to come together and realize that, hey, whatever that thing was actually not right, and now we can change it together. So obviously that starts at home, between me and Ruben. If we're disagreeing with each other for something, I can either come at it as okay, now I'm going to prove to you why I'm right, and that's it. And even if I have that thought in my head about I come into discussion knowing what I think and that's what I think, I always walk away knowing that you know what, I just learned something new, and actually he had a point too, and maybe we were both right in some way, but we had to have that conversation and maybe argue a bit and go back and forth and maybe even get mad, but we come to an agreement at the end and realize that both people have a point and we still love each other and we still live together and we're gonna be best friends, more than that, husband and wife. So there's that. And then outside of family, of course, there's work, there's community, which brings on a whole nother dimension, especially when you live with 300 people. That's a whole nother thing. But again, if it's an issue of safety, something is really not good, or just a matter of, this isn't right what's happening here in the community, and someone may really disagree with you. Someone may think I don't understand what you're trying to say, because it's totally fine, and you have to just, if you know in your heart this is the right thing to do, then you have to just do it. And even if you disagree, yes, you might argue, yes, you might even raise your voice. It happens, but you can always come to a resolution and realize that, again, maybe they had a point and you had a point, and you can figure it out together. So I guess there's always two sides to everything. And of course there's friends, people who you're close to, who you don't live with, who are further away or nearby, and sometimes you don't agree with them about certain things, and you might be really close, and you have to point it out because you love them. And again, listening and hearing both sides of something is really important, and realizing at the end of the day that even if we don't agree with each other, and maybe even if something doesn't get resolved right away, we still are all human beings. We're made by God, and we should love each other and want the best for each other and want the best outcome in the end. And even if it takes a while to get there, or if you don't see eye to eye right away, you know what? That's okay. Because you know what? Life happens, and arguments happen, and things come up, and you have to deal with them. But the main thing is to not be a pighead about it, I guess, and not just trample other people and yell at them and just be a jerk. To go about it, you know, with a sense of listening to the other person, while still, you know, keeping the concern that you have, but be ready to also accept that maybe you're wrong too, and that way come to a resolution. So yeah, something I'm not terribly good at, but I have to work on it, and that's what makes life go, makes life better, makes life and community better when we can figure those things out. And I think that would probably, you know, solve a lot of problems in the world if we all did that, you know. War, for example, just conflict, family problems. If we could listen to each other, that would be great. And I start with myself. So, those are my thoughts about this topic. And that's it. Have a great week.